United Nations Headquarters, New York, September 30th, 2025. In a historic move aimed at halting the spiraling violence in Haiti, the United Nations Security Council has approved a resolution to transform its existing UN-backed security mission into a much larger, full-fledged multinational force with military troops. The decision marks one of the most decisive international interventions in the country's decades-long struggle with instability. The chamber of the Security Council was tense but focused as diplomats from across the globe convened. Rows of national representatives sat beneath the iconic mural, their attention fixed on the debate that would determine whether the world's most powerful diplomatic body could act decisively in the face of Haiti's worsening security crisis. For years, Haiti has faced the relentless advance of heavily armed gangs that have terrorized the civilian population. Much of the capital, Port-au-Prince, and other major areas have been under de facto gang control. The government has repeatedly called on the international community for help as law enforcement agencies proved unable to stem the wave of violence. The gang's reach has not only undermined the government's authority, but also paralyzed economic activity, disrupted access to basic services, and driven thousands of residents to flee their homes. The resolution was strongly championed by the United States, which played a key role in rallying support among council members. Mike Waltz, the US ambassador to the UN, framed the vote as a crucial moment for the embattled Caribbean nation. Mike Waltz said, "The adoption of this resolution offers Haiti hope. It is a hope that has been rapidly slipping away as terrorist gangs expanded their territory, raped, pillaged, murdered, and terrorized the Haitian population." Waltz's stark words underscored the urgency of the situation. According to US officials, the mission's transformation into a military-backed force reflects the need to shift from reactive peacekeeping to proactive operations that can directly confront and dismantle the gang's networks. He further stressed that international inaction would have been tantamount to abandoning Haiti at a critical juncture, noting that gang violence has reached levels unprecedented in the nation's modern history. However, the resolution was not passed without reservations. Fu Kong, China's ambassador to the UN, voiced his country's deep concerns about the strategy being pursued. Fu Kong warned, allowing weapons to flow into the hands of gangs while simultaneously pushing for the deployment of armed forces to operate in Haiti is a contradictory approach that risks plunging Haiti into greater security turmoil and exposing both the Haitian people and the troops deployed to heightened risks. The statement reflected a key point of contention within the Security Council. While the US and several Western allies argued that a military presence was essential to restoring order, China questioned whether the influx of weapons and militarized responses could inadvertently worsen the crisis. Diplomats and analysts noted that Beijing's position mirrors broader debates over the effectiveness of military interventions in fragile states, particularly when governance, economic conditions, and social structures remain weak. As the council members deliberated, all eyes turned to the representative of the nation most directly affected. Eric Pierre, Haiti's ambassador to the UN, welcomed the resolution as a long-awaited turning point in his country's fight against gang domination. Eric Pierre declared, "This marks a decisive turning point in my country's fight against one of the most serious challenges in its already turbulent history." The Haitian envoy described the desperate conditions in his homeland, pointing to the vast swathes of territory now under the control of armed groups. Eric Pierre further warned, multiple heavily armed gangs have extended their control over large parts of the territory, particularly in the capital, Port-au-Prince. The ambassador's remarks highlighted the extent to which the gangs have penetrated Haiti's social and political fabric, operating not just as criminal entities, but as de facto authorities in some regions. European members of the Council largely supported the resolution, but also emphasized that military action alone could not resolve Haiti's crisis. Jérôme Bonnafont, France's ambassador to the UN, made it clear that the international response must go hand in hand with political reforms. Jérôme Bonnafont stated, "This heightened effort by the international community must be accompanied by a renewed commitment to the political transition process. The restoration of democratic institutions and the rule of law in Haiti are necessary steps to end the multidimensional crisis affecting the country." The French envoy underscored that without functioning political institutions and a credible pathway toward democratic governance, the security gains achieved by military operations would be fragile and short-lived. The resolution passed with a comfortable majority, signalling strong consensus among most Security Council members. However, Abstentions by some countries reflected lingering doubts over the intervention's long-term implications. The approved plan will see the current UN-backed security mission expanded and reinforced with military personnel drawn from several member states. The force's mandate includes supporting Haitian authorities in reclaiming gang-controlled areas, protecting key infrastructure, and facilitating humanitarian aid delivery. Security Council officials indicated that the mission's success will depend heavily on sustained international funding and logistical support, as well as cooperation with local authorities. Haiti's history with international interventions is long and complex. Previous peacekeeping missions have been criticized for failing to build lasting stability and, in some cases, for contributing to new challenges, such as public health crises. Experts point out that the current situation is even more dire than in past decades, given the scale of gang control and the collapse of much of the state's security apparatus. This has fueled both hopes and skepticism about whether a new international military force can achieve what past missions could not. Haitian civil society leaders have expressed cautious optimism. Many believe that decisive action against the gangs is necessary to restore basic security, but they also warn that rebuilding trust between the state and the population will require far more than military operations. The humanitarian situation in Haiti has deteriorated sharply. Reports from aid agencies describe widespread displacement as families flee gang-controlled neighborhoods. Hospitals and clinics face shortages of supplies and personnel due to persistent threats from armed groups. Children have been forced out of school in many areas, and entire communities live under the constant threat of extortion, kidnapping, and violence. The UN's Humanitarian Office has appealed for increased aid, emphasizing that security efforts must be accompanied by urgent relief operations to address food shortages and health crises. The Security Council's decision marks a significant commitment of the international community to Haiti's future. Yet, as many diplomats acknowledged during the debate, the task ahead is immense. While US Ambassador Waltz described the resolution as a beacon of hope, China's Fu Kong and France's Bonifant reminded delegates that sustainable peace requires more than armed intervention. Political inclusivity, economic recovery, and institution building remain critical for Haiti to escape its cycle of instability. Some analysts have warned that without parallel efforts to cut off arms trafficking, strengthen the judicial system, and curb corruption, the new force could find itself fighting an endless battle with no clear path to victory. As the meeting adjourned, there was a palpable sense that the Security Council had crossed an important threshold in confronting one of the world's most entrenched crises. The approval of the new military-backed force represents both an opportunity and a test of international resolve, of Haiti's political leadership, and of the global community's capacity to respond to complex emergencies. For Haiti, the resolution brings a measure of hope that the tide might finally turn against the gangs that have strangled its cities and terrorized its people. For the UN and its member states, it is a reminder that decisions taken in the Security Council chamber must ultimately deliver safety, dignity, and progress for those whose lives hang in the balance.
Este Consejo solicitó al Secretario General.
The provisional agenda for this meeting is the question concerning Haiti. 609, the text of a draft resolution submitted. The Council is ready to proceed to the vote.
Hoy podamos transmitir a Haití un mensaje claro.
The Haitian state with gang activity threatening to turn the country into ability to scale up to more than 5,000 to a 5,000 person mission.
5. La République d'Haïti signait la charte constitutive de l'organisme
can only be achieved if security is restored in Haiti.
The adoption of this resolution offers Haiti hope. It is a hope that has been rapidly slipping away as terrorist gangs expanded their territory, raped, pillaged, murdered, and terrorized the Haitian population. This dramatic...
Allowing weapons to flow into the hands of gangs while simultaneously pushing for the deployment of armed forces to operate in Haiti is a contradictory approach that risks plunging Haiti into greater security turmoil and exposing both the Haitian people and the troops deployed to heightened risks.
让海地民众和部队都面临更大的风险。
This marks a decisive turning point in my country's fight against one of the most serious challenges in its already turbulent history. Multiple heavily armed gangs have extended their control over large parts of the territory, particularly in the capital, Port-au-Prince. This heightened effort by the international community must be accompanied by a renewed commitment to the political transition process. The restoration of democratic institutions and the rule of law in Haiti are necessary steps to end the multidimensional crisis affecting the country.